All right, everybody. So last time we started looking at math variables, and the reason why I want to do that is so we can start going into something that's even a little bit more in depth than that, and that's going to be structs. And what a struct is basically a variable that you make. And the way that we are going to do that is we're going to go ahead and let's just create a folder here called structs. And let's just go ahead and make that a bright red color. The reason I make it bright red is because these have a tendency to crash on me a lot. Once you get really complex ones, sometimes it's a hard thing to explain, and I'll eventually show a video on how to do a workaround for it when it does keep crashing, because it can be really annoying. But we'll worry about that later. So anyway, let's go ahead and right click. It is under Blueprint, and it's a structure. So what we're going to do is we're just going to call this base stats underscore s for structure. Open it up. We're going to go ahead and save. And inside of here, this is essentially a variable that you can put other variables into. So let's say we want to start with, I don't know, name. Go ahead and do that as a string. Let's go ahead and add variable. The reason why I did it as a string versus as a text is just because you can do a comparison with strings but not with texts, I believe. So if you ever wanted to use that to see if the player's name was equal to something, you'd want to have it as a string. If you just want to have it like inserted into a text in the system or inside of another text, you could just use a text, but I just figured string works out. So so then what we want to do also now is go ahead and put in here HS stats for health stamina, and what we'll do is go ahead and it is going to be a, how did we have it set up over here? Because basically it's going to be the way that we had it set up right here, which was, yes, okay, so variable type is the base stats enumerator, and then it is a map of those reals. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is over here, go to our variables. And the reason why we're doing this now is to save time and energy later on, so that when we're building out certain things, we can do them using this instead of me, showing you 6 videos from now and us having to go back and rebuild a bunch of stuff. So yeah, hopefully this works. So what we do is let's go ahead and send here, call it base stats, struct, and this is going to go ahead and be that base stats structure that we had right there. So let's compile, let's save, let's just save everything. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is, for example, in our sprint here, where we are reducing our stamina. Just let me go ahead and you can click and drag and select a bunch of stuff and move it and get it out of the way to get stuff cleaned up. And we can go ahead and now drag this out, do get base stat structs. Right, no, I wanted get. Get, yes, get. And then you do a break. And what breaking a structure does is it kind of, as the name says, it breaks out everything that's inside of there. So right now there's only 2 that are in there. So there's 2 right there. If there's more, more will potentially be showing on there, or you can select which one's actually over here. You can unclick it and it hides it. You can do hide unconnected. I think you can potentially set categories because it says default, so maybe there's a way to add more categories. I'm not sure. I haven't bothered messing with that. But then from this point, it basically becomes the same thing where you just can pull it out there, and instead of going to this base stats, it's going to that base stats. And yeah, so let's go ahead and make sure that works. Okay, so the reason why it's not reducing it up there is because we didn't update our HUD. So, got to do the same thing. So, coming off of as base character, we're going to just type base. What did I call the thing? Oh yeah, get base stats struct down here. It's so green and pretty up top, and then it's like this dull blue down there. It's like, why? Anyway, do get base. All about the base. All right, so break. And then we just connect the dots. Connect the dots. And so the reason why it's so easy to connect these is because we're connecting to the same type of map variable, which was the base stats E going to a real. So that's why you can reconnect those that same way. If this was, any other type of map variable, like, for example, you can't just connect, the name up into there. That's not how it works. It won't just, switch it. So that's why it was so easy to do it that way. So now that our HUD should be actually, after I do this again for this one, get base stats. So something else you can do is also do split pin struct, and that will just pop them all out. But the thing about this is you can't then hide any unconnected pins, so it can get a little sloppier. So if you do the break, then you can, and when you get to the point where you've got 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 different things inside of that base stats area, yeah, it can get messy. So let's just go ahead and move that over to there. We can get rid of that there. Compile, save. Try this again. Okay, why? Oh, wait, I know why. I'm an idiot. So, it really helps if you actually set values inside of here. So if you want to go ahead and click and see, here's what I was talking about in one of the previous videos about why you want to, create a dummy one up at the top. So this way, see when I try to add it again, it wouldn't let me. But now we've got current health, and then we can drop down max health. Come on, current stamina, and then max stamina. Go ahead and put these all to 100. We compile, we save, we go ahead and play from here. See, now it's up there, and now we're draining stamina. So, woo, doggy. So, yeah, pretty nifty. All right. So this took me longer to come back to than I thought I meant to last night when I was recording the other part and didn't. So going back to structs and basically why doing a break can be better than doing the other way. So over here is a struct that I've got, my base stats one that's been stretched out quite a bit, and it's got some stuff that definitely doesn't necessarily need to be there, but basically you start to get a lot of stuff, and then you can potentially have it look just ridiculous over on the side. I don't know if it'll let me just click all of them, but either way, let me just go ahead and pull off here and just do another break and show you. So you'd end up with something, that freaking big, trying to figure out what you're looking for, and it can just be a major pain in the butt. So yeah, that's why doing the break and then to adjust the pins is really nice. So that's one thing, and then just something else I wanted to show was I just wanted to show a few other things that I had gotten put into here. Just things that we'll be going through in the future, just to kind of show everybody. So let's just go ahead and do play from here. So we've got one AI guy right there who right now, I had a few others that were just roaming around, but he's got 4 separate patrol points. He runs over to the first one, waits for, I think, anywhere from, I think it's like 2 seconds, plus or minus 2 seconds, so he'll stand there. You can see some of my things with, sometimes when you've got stuff with gravity on them and whatnot, they can get weird. So yeah, you've got those things right there, just kind of falling around. Let's let's see. So that was one thing that was a couple of things I want to show. Over here we've got the over here we've got the fast travels that I had put in. So there was one of the statues. I think I had mentioned these before, but I didn't get a chance to actually show them working or anything like that. So you've got the one over there, and I forgot to give these things names, so this probably isn't going to actually work. Oh well, I'll show you what's going on with that in a minute. So if we go to our fast travel, we've got two spots, but neither one of them have names in there. But basically, if we click on one of them, we end up back over here, and also showing that right there. The trees growing with something else I'd put in, and that's actually, I need to look into that, because if you're doing the fast travel and it's causing the trees to restart, I'll probably have to figure out a way of changing that. But something else that I had put into here, which is, okay, those shouldn't have been picked up. Oops, fix that at some other point. Basically, we've got things called, for example, our grow arrows, which what these do is can make the trees get bigger. And then also right now I've got things such as these set to actually grow and get bigger. And the reason for that is then if, for example, you had a chasm type area and you wanted to try and cross over it, you can basically make it grow and climb up the tree. It's not going to work as well in this one probably. And I think, okay. And then something else, which is pull ball go. Go ahead and use this one just to show that. Can have it so that it will actually cause the thing to start falling towards you. So if you had someone that was on the other side of a chasm or something like that, it would come towards you. You could have your own path getting across there. So yeah, just a few different things and ideas that we can show how to do later on. So yeah, and then also I probably already I did fix those are spells on that inventory. That's why. Fix it so the resistances were showing up properly over here. So basically each one has a different resistance to different element types, and you'll eventually have different element types for attacks and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, those were just some of the things that were put into here that we'll eventually get through doing. Additionally, we'll get through going over the landscape, building out the different ways of doing blueprints and stuff, or different blueprints that we'll go through. I almost forget what frickin' wall this door is on. I'm basically making it so that you can have doors open automatically, or showing you how to make the doors interactive. Not much light in here right now. Add some lights into there. Oh. All right, so yeah, that was Structs and messing around with them, and just also a view of some of the future stuff that we will be going through. So, woo.